Om. 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 Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om peace, peace, peace unto us all.
Sai Ram, welcome to the Sri Sathya Sai Center of Arcadia. On behalf of all of the officers, we wish you all a very happy and holy Krishna Janmastami. Today, we have a very special speaker that is known to each and every one of us. And it is none other than our very own Dr. Venkat Sadanand. Let me read a brief bio, and then I will hand it over to him. He has enormous experience and a lot of wisdom, so we are all looking forward to listening to him speak tonight. Dr. Venkat Sadanand has been a Sri Sathya Sai Baba devotee since 1980. He graduated from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, in electrical engineering and completed his PhD in economics at Caltech. And he received his MD in the University Toronto School of Medicine. He is an associate professor of neurosurgery and pediatric neurosurgery at Loma Linda University in California. Dr. Sadanand chairs the Sri Sathya Sai International IT Committee and is a member of the Sri Sathya Sai International Medical Committee and a member of the Sri Sathya Sai International Intellectual Property Committee. He has served also as honorary senior consultant at the Sri Sathya Sai Super Speciality Hospital in Bengaluru, India. He has contributed more than 100 research publications and reputed journals. He has been a speaker at many Sri Sathya Sai conferences and retreats. Thank you, Dr. Sadanand, and we are very excited and looking forward to hearing your wonderful talk.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My most loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of my dearest, most beloved Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Thank you very kindly, dear sister, for the introduction and for giving me this opportunity to have satsang with what I consider my own extended family of the Arcadia Sathya Sai Center. As you mentioned, sister, today is a prelude to the wonderful day on Sunday when Lord Krishna was born, which is the 8th day of the Krishna Paksha, the dark half of the moon, on this month, lunar month. And we call it with different names, Krishna Jayanti, Krishna Janmashtami, Gokulashtami. which mean all about the same things. The Ashtami part, you know why, because of the 8th day. And we celebrate it in various ways. In Tamil Nadu, we make elaborate rangoli, kolam. And if there's a little baby in the house, then we dip the feet of that baby in rice flour with water and then make the baby walk so it looks like footprints of Lord Krishna. Sometimes we do that with our fist like this, and you dip it in that liquid rice flour and make feet of Lord Krishna. In other parts, this is all over India, this is celebrated. Manipur, for example, they have Rasa Leela. Gujarat, it's a big celebration where I grew up. And as I grew up, the hallmark of any festival for me used to be the food that is served. And during Krishnashtami, you have a sumptuous feast of the types of peanut laddus and the sweets that I like very much. This Lord Krishna has truly captured all our hearts. And as you know, as an infant, he was just exceedingly cute. And we remember him, or we imagine him as a beautiful, chubby, not fat, chubby, a little kid with curly hair and going after butter and butter in his mouth when his mom catches him with a broken pot. These are sweet images of the Lord. And then as he grew up, it's a beautiful flute, very melodious, that was mesmerizing to the gopikas. And that was the beauty of the Lord as he became older. And then as he became older, his beauty was unimaginably increasing. And not only that, his divine manifestations, he was always slaying these dragons, these asuras and demons right from a young age. But as he got older, you saw so many glimpses of divine discourses from Krishna, culminating in, of course, as we all know, the Bhagavad Gita, and how he shows us finally, or showed Arjuna, his universal form that encompasses all of the universe. And so this Krishna has had a beautiful history that captured our hearts and our imagination and our love, unending love for Krishna. And you can see the parallel when we, who have been blessed and so fortunate to be born at a time to have experienced Sai Krishna. As a child, he was exceedingly cute. He didn't have the butter, but he had the curly hair and he was chubby. And oh, how I wish I was there at the time when he was a little kid and I could do this and pinch his cheeks. That was the cuteness that he had. And as he grew up, he showed us the beautiful leelas, the kalpavriksha, these leelas brought us closer to him. And like Krishna's flute, he had his melodious voice through which he would sing bhajans. As a young adult, we were all captured by that. And then the same Sai Krishna became older, and we saw the divine words that were the Vedas themselves that came out of his mouth in his beautiful voice. And he has been the most prolific incarnation, human being, person ever on this earth in what he has given us as direct from his divine discourses directly to us to help us in our path. We can't help but stop. We can't at all stop loving him. Just like we can't stop loving Krishna. Sai Krishna is that same Krishna that is here, or with a difference. The cuteness is 10x. And that's what captured us. That's what made us go to him. That's what made us always think of him. And even now after Mahasamadhi, we are captured by him. In Krishna's time, Lord Krishna's time, when Krishna left Vrindavan, when he was in Vrindavan, the Gopikas were enamored. They were enamored. He had captured their hearts. And then he left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. And there he became more of a statesman and different. He has different stages in life. And at that time, the Gopikas had to go through a transition. And that's what I would like to discuss with all of us here. And the same thing with Bhagavan. After the Mahasamadhi, there has to be a transition in ourselves and a transformation that comes about because now he's not there physically, but he's there in some form. How do we harvest that? How did the Gopikas harvest Krishna when he left Vrindavan? So the topic, if I could put a title to it, is a combination of two words that on the face of it looks like it's a contradiction. Over the past several weeks in our study circles, we've been looking at Sutra Vahini, where there's discussion of the ultimate Brahman. And we know about Swami's teachings on Advaita. And now I'm talking about love for Krishna. So let me frame what I'm going to say with two words that don't seem to make sense to be together, but they do actually. And that is Advaita Bhakti or Jnana Bhakti. That's what Krishna taught us, Lord Krishna. And that's what Sai Krishna taught us, Advaita Bhakti or Jnana Bhakti. So what is this? Well, there are two parts to it. And I'll narrate some personal experiences with Swami that helped me in this path understand this combination of the two. One aspect of this is the Advaita or the Jnana. And that part is best identified by Taittiriya Upanishad's words, Vijnanam Brahma, that Brahman is consciousness itself. That is what occupies the entire universe. On the other side, the Bhakti, there is a beautiful, lovely God. And that God is somebody I would love to worship. I'd love to be with that God. There is a divine romance with the God. There is a conversation that goes on with this God. And I love every aspect of Sai Krishna in that. When I touch him, his beautiful silky skin. When he touches me or slaps me, or even if he yells at me, boy, I'd love to hear that voice again. So these seem to be two different things. And in fact, when we think about it, there are really two different types of knowledge. One is a knowledge that is based on our senses, on what our bodies can sense. And last time when Dr. Reddy talked about Sutra Vahini, when we discussed one of the chapters in Sutra Vahini, we mentioned science is for the senses. This is what Swami said actually, science is for the senses. And through these senses, we can we can hear, we can see, we can contemplate, we can meditate. That's the Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. We can do all of that to gain knowledge that is processed by this CPU called senses. Okay, so that's one CPU in my computer. And that processes all these various inputs it gets through the senses and tries to make sense out of it. That's called indirect knowledge. Then there is a direct knowledge. And that direct knowledge is not coming through these senses. That direct knowledge of Brahman is an experience. So I can't tell you, I can see Swami in you, I see God in you. I don't know what that even means. But I can experience God in me. And I can experience God as all-pervading. Those are experiences. So this type of knowledge, which is direct knowledge, is based on experiences as opposed to indirect knowledge, which is based on the senses. The path of bhakti arises from indirect knowledge. The Shravanam, Mananam, all of the sight seeing, all our senses, it comes from that. But it is a preparation, it is a path, it prepares us to be able to experience the divine in us, the Atman and the Brahman. That is what it's preparing us for. And the reality is Brahman. That is all there is. That's what the Taittiriya Upanishad said. That Brahman is all that there is. And when we try and look at our lives under Swami's tutelage as lives that are being guided from bhakti to jnana, then we can understand our trek, our journey. And in fact, in Avadhuta Gita, they talk about this, that there is one kind of bhakti, which is Vidhi Bhakti. And then there is Para Bhakti, which is bhakti for this Brahman, which is this love, but it's a different kind. And that is where in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the tongue twister, they mention this concept of having a way by which we can understand what is meant by love for something that is nirguna, nirakara, something with no form, with no quality. How do we love that? When I started talking today, I said my very loving pranams at the lotus feet of my most beloved, dearest Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. That's what the Avadhuta Gita talks about, dearest. The concept of dearest and most beloved for the Atman, for the Brahman, is similar to love and bhakti for what is seen by and experienced by the senses. The indirect knowledge, bhakti, is like the dearness of what we can have for the Atman. And this combination of the two seems to be a way by which we can, and I'll go through we can understand how these two meet. And I'll go through how some of the seers and sages have commented on this. But the way this combination works is eventually by our own yearning, intense yearning to have that experience, not the knowledge. Knowledge is for the bhakti, the experience which comes from jnana. We want that. You remember Swami's beautiful song where one of the lines is Yatna Prayatnamu Manavu Dharmamu. What is our dharma? There is only one dharma. You cannot have multiple dharmas. There's finally one apex body. These days we are talking about that. There's an apex dharma. What is that apex dharma? The apex dharma is the Yatna Prayatnamu. And you just keep on making the sincere, earnest effort, not to support the body and the mind. You make the sincere, earnest effort to have that experience, because that experience of Brahman comes with the grace of God, according to Adi Shankara. So let us keep on praying to God. God, please, that is our earn. How do I, tell me God, how do I, God means it's now the bhakti part, oh God. Because the other part, there is no God, there is no you. I'll tell you a very nice story. There was one time when, in 2006, my father passed away, and immediately after we finished all the 13 days of pujas, I went over to Prashanti, and they were just going to start the Atirudra Mahayajnam. And I sat there, Swami came to me, I stood up and I had tears flowing in my eyes with my hands like this. And I said, Swami, Appa passed away, he merged with you. And he said nothing. He just asked me, when is your mother coming? I told him when she's coming. And he said nothing else. So I said, Swami, I love you very much. And I was crying. And he caught my two hands, clasped it. And he said, there is no I, there is no you. That's all he said. Then he said, go sit down. And initially my reaction was, hey, I just told you my father died and you're telling me some philosophy. But it was beautiful what he said, beautiful. And it put me on a path of inquiry that till today I try to, that is the prayatnamo. That the life that I lead as a body and as a mind, that Venkat of body and mind is not as consequential as the efforts I make to sincerely keep praying nonstop with hope, with faith, and with love for this Atman. That please give me the grace to have that experience. And I will not stop. No matter what you put as barriers, barricades, it is my right. It is my right as a divine entity that has been taken this human body form. It is my right to experience the divine in me. Demand it as a right. That jnana is your right. That is the prayatna. Keep on doing that until one of two things happens. That God says, good God, get rid of this guy. Like these beggars who come and keep asking, finally you say, okay, take this 4 annas and go. God says, okay, you can have the experience. Or God says, yes, I want you to have that experience. And gives us that. There will be only one of two outcomes. And that should be your determination because of who you are. If you think about many realized people, there was one amazing person, Madhusudana Saraswati. He was an Advaitan. He was an Advaita. He used to practice Advaita, believe in Advaita, and that was his thinking. And he's written some beautiful books, not only on Advaita, he's written beautiful books about Lord Krishna, where he talks about the romance between him and Lord Krishna. And you think, wait, how does this jive? What is Jnana Bhakti here? What is Advaita Bhakti here? This is a man who's written books on Advaita, and then he goes and writes books on the beauty of Lord Krishna and the romance with that God. And the way he says, and the Shankaracharya Madam in Kanchipuram talks about this, is that this is an individual who's pointed out to us the importance of finding that path to the divine Brahman through this bhakti outside. That shouldn't be the end of everything. Bhakti is not the end of everything, but it eventually leads you to Brahman. So that's the preparatory bhakti, the vidhi, and compared to the parabhakti, which is the ultimate Brahman. And this path tells you that in order to take this conditioned mind and body since the time of birth, that is made to believe in something, that something is real if and only if, as we say in mathematics, if and only if, our senses can experience it. What is knowledgeable for the senses is truth. That's what we've been brought up, trained, made to believe since day one of our birth. The sense that we had as an infant is a sense of smell. Our vision was all blurry at that time as a little baby, and then slowly we grew up and I started getting, and then responses, counter responses, I'm hungry, I cry, I get food, cause and effect, everything. Our world is built like this, and now you have to leave that behind. So go from that to parabhakti, the bhakti for the love for this, for the reality Now, it doesn't mean that what we have knowledge about and what I'm seeing and the various forms and beauty I see around me is it, that is it. There's nothing beyond it. I'll give you an example. Think about, this is an example that Swami Sarvapriyananda gave. Think about the sky. The sky is blue and it's beautiful, right? There's so many poems written about the beauty of the sky. But is it really blue? Karthik is sitting here, I can't tell. It is colorless, right? It is black, or it shows the color that you bring to it. There's nothing there, it's not blue. But it's beautiful. But I know that that is not real. How do I know that that blue sky is not the reality? Well, I know that because it's not constant. It's blue, the sunset it is orange, sunrise it is sort of blue-orange, nighttime it is black, so it keeps changing. And I know one thing, what keeps changing, I can't rely on it as truth. It is knowledge, but it is not truth. That's the difference. And so, but I love its beauty. The orange sun, the sunset, my goodness, you go to the beach, any beach in Southern California, and you'll see the beaches are packed during sunset. Everybody wants to photograph the sun setting and the sky and the beauty of the sky, right? The beauty is appreciated. There's so many poems and songs. There are even songs about God, comparing that beauty with the beauty of sunset and the sky. So there is all this beauty, but what does it do to me? What it does to me is, oh my God, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. What is it? What is the reality? I want to know more. That is the preparatory bhakti making me think, I want to know more. I want more. I want more. I want to know more. I want to know what it really is because it is so beautiful. That's how bhakti leads you into an inquiry about what is the reality behind it. And then I get some scientists together and we put a little rocket, get outside, and we see, oh my God, this is not blue or orange at all. And that is the reality. But that reality is so Brahmandam, it's so beautiful. It is vast, unimaginable from here. Because from here, what I see is scattered light. And that scattered light is telling me blue and end. Few clouds I see, or clear sky is just see blue or orange in the evening. But as we think about it, when we leave and go higher up into orbit, we will see this beauty, this magnificent beauty, much more than what we see with what we thought was true. That which was changing is now unchanging to a small extent. When we get out of this and see the reality, it's beautiful. That is the beauty we want to see of Brahman. And to get the yearning, to get the push, to be able to make the yatna prayatnamu is our dharma. Not only that, it is our right to be able to experience that Brahman. Keep on reminding, your mind should keep on reminding itself that this is where I should be going, this experience. And dear Atman, it's your job to make me experience this. I have the right to experience it in this life. Please help me. The way you do this is to see what portion of who you think you are is occupied in who you really are. That means how much our mind is occupied in the divine Brahman. Before, when we had bhakti and there was this romance, our mind was more and more getting occupied with this beauty of God and our relationship with God. And in my life, I have seen 5 people, but who are who are exemplars in Bhakti. And they have been extremely inspiring in my life about what is Bhakti and how steadfast Bhakti should be. The characteristics of exploring and enjoying that Bhakti is not dissimilar from the characteristics of trying to yearn for Brahman and Jnana. Because here too, in Bhakti, you will be put through situations and circumstances that make you doubt about this relationship between you and God. And how steady you are shows the steadiness of this Bhakti. And these 5 people that I mentioned in my life are people who have shown that incredible Bhakti. I can never reach that. I try very hard. And every day I learn how much more I have to go. And so this path of Bhakti should eventually fold back and get us to asking the question, so who is this Krishna inside me? Who is this Krishna that makes up me? Why is it that people say that there is one universal consciousness? Why is it that people say that that Krishna is the same as my Atman? Why? Can I not experience that? And those are the questions that will come about, because this beauty and this love and this Bhakti is not giving me enough satisfaction, and then I have to go further and explore it, just like I take a spaceship and get out of the orbit to see what space really is and what the sky really is. You come back to this. That prayatna has to be going, and trees will fall, tsunamis will come, your life will be in shambles. But what is the life? The life has nothing to do with paying MasterCard bills. The life has to do with this one goal before we die, to be able to experience that Brahman. I wish, the less and less and less of things we have on this earth, the connections with those and the possessions and those, the less we have of those, the more we can spend time in trying to do the prayatna and say, this is my dharma, not that. So we keep doing, but there are people who say, we have to breathe. I have to eat so that I can have a body and a mind, which is sound, that will help me pray to Swami to give me the experience. If I didn't have a body, if I die, the mind is gone. The body is gone. My opportunity to experience is gone. So yes, I have to eat. I have to make sure that I have to, so those activities of daily living, as it's called, exist. But they're nothing more than that. They're not possessions. They're not things to be proud of. They're not things that have any significance beyond keeping my body and mind sound so that I can do this, which is the jnana. That's the only purpose. Or keeping my body and mind sound so that I can focus on this beauty of God and my relationship with God, and eventually fold back from that into jnana, from bhakti to jnana. Now, in some instances, you may go directly to jnana. Some people have had that experience. And how we do and how we balance these is based on our own innate nature, the nature of our minds. Swami Vivekananda said something, and this again is a quotation from Swami Sarvapriyananda. Swami Vivekananda talked about, at one point he said, I talk a lot about Advaita philosophy. I talk as if there is a lot, I talk about jnana, the importance of jnana. But deep inside me, I am a bhakta. And I quote, this is a quotation I'm saying. But this old man, Swami Vivekananda used to refer to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as old man. This old man is the opposite. On the outside, he's a bhakta. But on the inside, he's the ultimate jnani. How we decide to divide these two when they meet, the bhakti and the jnani, the bhakta and the jnani. When they meet, how much we decide to put weight on each is up to us. But the path is the same for all of us, except those who are blessed and graced by God to go directly and see the Advaita Darshanam, which is jnana. And so how we transmit our desires and yearning to that God. Who do we transmit our desire? When we are little babies, we say to our mom, Mom, I want food. I'm hungry. And now we develop a relationship with God like we have with our mother. They say Swami is like 1,000 mothers. Well then, hello, 1,000 moms. I want something. I am hungry for something. I'm hungry for this experience of Brahman, because nothing else matters more to me than this. Now, there are times when we have duties and we have, in this world, we have things to do. You know the story of Brother Lawrence, you know the story of, and we talked about that in our study circles. Dr. Reddy mentioned that, where he was a Carmelite monk who was working as a cook in a restaurant, but while he is there doing all this amidst all the clutter of noise and people shouting, table number so-and-so wants this and that, amongst all that, his mind is focused steadily on God, as if he is kneeling in front of the Holy Sacrament. So his mind, Swami says the mind is a bundle of thoughts. One job in this life is to change that before we destroy the mind. That's the ultimate goal. But the mind is a bundle of thoughts. Let's just make it, the mind is a bundle of thought, singular. Because all we want in this mind, and for the mind to be captured, either in bhakti, about the beauty, the rasa, and develop a relationship. As much as possible, keep the mind occupied in that relationship with God, or keep the mind steady in understanding the beauty of who you really are, your Atman. And this way to conquer the mind is helpful, because you can go step by step and say each time, okay, today it's going to be half an hour when my mind will be on one thought only. Tomorrow it will be 1 hour. Tomorrow means in a few days, and then so on and so forth. And eventually you find that you can live a parallel life where your mind is occupied in this thought, while at the same time it's able to execute your activities of daily living. And there's nothing more beyond the activities of daily living in what we have in this world. Our relationships, our possessions, our wealth, our life around us, the politics around us are all meaningless, because they are only detracting us by taking our mind away and creating more pathways of thought. Swami says it's a bundle of thoughts. Let it not be thoughts, let it be just thought. That is our goal. And you do your activities of daily living so that you can have a mind, because if you're dead, you don't have a mind. So have a mind, but let it be on one thought only. That is the prayatnamu you can make. So first prayatnamu is trying to implore to that God for whom you have bhakti to give you the Advaita darshan. The second prayatnam is for you to keep focusing on one thought only, so that your mind becomes preoccupied on that one thought. And that way we get closer and closer to understanding who Krishna really is. That Lord Krishna and the beauty of Krishna was a way to attract us, to bring us to who he really is and experience that. One is knowledge, the other is experience. And that experience, I can't describe it. I'm not a jnani, but those who have experienced, when you read about their lives, even Ramana Maharishi, he tells us of a path to get to that state. But he's not describing what it feels like, because feeling is of the senses. Experience is not of the senses. And that's why they're two different things. Can't measure one with the other. Now, if it is the case that Lord Krishna and Sai Krishna have come here to show us that path, in our own lives, let us explore to see, let's go back and rewind our lives. Rewind your entire life and start playing it again. And you'll see in your mind that there were definitely moments where Swami was there, whether you knew about Swami or not. And this relationship between you and Swami has been going on for a long time. And we see that that relationship is driven by none other than Swami himself. And when we look at it that way, we see the whole world that we exist in and our relationship with God, everything is governed by that God himself. By that God himself. He puts the barriers. He shows us what happens in our relationship with God during those times, during those barriers. Everything has only one purpose. That life of ours, every event, every conversation has one purpose only: to see the beauty of the Lord in that conversation, to see the beauty of the Lord in that what we call as misfortune, to see the beauty of Lord in that which we call as fortune, to see the beauty of the Lord in that which we call as a loss, and to see the beauty of the Lord in that which we call as a gain. In fact, in Adi Shankara's Bhasyam, the commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, he says in chapter 12, the qualities of a bhakta that Lord Krishna talks about, those qualities are exactly the qualities of a jnani. And there is no difference in those two. In a way, this equanimity is what we need, so that our mind can be occupied not in woe is me, what has happened in the time of loss, or oh, I'm great in the time of gain, but instead focus on that one thought only, not multiple thoughts. Keep on coming back to that one thought of Brahman, of God. Nothing is more important. So I want to wish you all a very happy and holy Krishna Janmashtami. And I pray very sincerely to our very loving and beloved, my dearest, dearest Lord Sai Krishna, that all of us are graced by him so we can go on this beautiful path from love to dearness to our Lord. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, dear brother, thank you so much. You've given us so many words of wisdom. As all of us are getting ready to celebrate this most auspicious festival of Krishna Janmastami, you have really reminded us how to see the Krishna within us. And, you know, I agree with you. I wish I was also there when Swami was a little child, as a little Krishna, to enjoy all his little leelas and pranks. So thank you so much. And we wish each and every one of you a very happy and holy Janmashtami. May, as our brother mentioned, may our Lord Sai bless each and every one of us.